I want to ask you about how people cope when not just they have a significant other, partner, husband, wife to look after them, so to speak. Not that that's always easy, but when they're on their own as well. And I know in your case, circumstances changed through your cancer journey. Mm. And what would be your reflection on that?
I obviously was married at the time I got my diagnosis. I think it did put a lot of pressure on the relationship. I think anybody is naive if they think it's not going to. I certainly think that, as any serious illness would, or situation, it will find out the cracks in your relationship. For me personally, at one point I felt, because I was in the type of relationship that I was in, that I was being steered by cancer and I didn't have a voice. It was out of my control, and I felt my relationship was like that as well. I made a conscious decision during my cancer treatment that once I'd got to the end of it and I was physically stronger, that I would make myself emotionally stronger by cutting off from the relationship that I didn't want. And I guess that might happen to quite a few people undergoing the cancer journey. It made me reevaluate me, made me reevaluate the things I wanted, made me assess what my priority was, and I realised that actually my priority had become me. Now there was a downside to that, because obviously financially you're more vulnerable, you are the sole breadwinner. I have a daughter who was only 8 years of age when I was diagnosed, and I had to provide for her, and she was emotionally reliant on me as well. She struggled at times seeing mum. She couldn't understand some of the things that cancer does to people, particularly chemotherapy and fatigue, and it was a big fear for her as well. I think that things I've learnt along the way, obviously, is that, believe it or not, things you think you can't deal with, you actually can. It quite empowered me becoming an independent person again, which made me stronger to make my own decisions, which in turn helped me with some of the medical decisions I've had to make in my life now. I don't hide it. I think there's a two-edged sword. You worry. I did worry at one point and thought, am I doing the right thing? What happens if I get really sick? I'll be all alone. What happens if in the middle of the night I need help? So I changed my viewpoint then. I'd been a very singular, private person. Although I had got friends, they all said this about me. We noticed a big change in you, Julie, because you started reaching out to us more then. It was almost like somebody giving you permission to ask for help. And I think, in the main, to be honest, the cancer did some of that, because I realised that it wasn't wrong to fail, it wasn't wrong to feel vulnerable, therefore it wasn't wrong to have those feelings, and it wasn't wrong to ask somebody and say, can you help me with that, please? Because I haven't got the strength at the minute, physically or otherwise, to do that. So can you please help me with that? And the more I asked, the easier it got. And then people would kindly then say, oh, are you okay? Can we help you with that? Because we know you can't always vocalise that. We know that you won't ask even when you want to because of how you are. And that was sort of something really good that came out of it. Our friendships got stronger. I was able to lean on them, and it empowered me to be a whole person again, actually. You know, even though there were times when it was hard work. Dealing with cancer on your own, I think, yeah, it's even more important that you have people around you that identify that you're on your own, the clinical team, or if you find that you're failing, you know, emotionally, mentally, that you can ask for that help, and you've got emotional support around you as well.